What's up, guys? Figured I'd come to you today and do just a little mini review for Watchmen. That's right, if you can't read my shirt, it says, "Who watches the Watchmen?" I went to go see the movie yesterday, and I gotta say, honestly, I give it a 9 out of 10. I'm not going to give away too much here, but I'm going to make another video with some friends, a bit of a nerd roundtable and stuff, talking about not just the actual movie, but the book Watchmen and all that stuff. But some obvious great points about it are, first and foremost, Jackie Earle Haley is Rorschach. There's no getting around that. He was essentially the number one thing about the movie that was flawless. His performance as Rorschach was fucking great, you know. But yeah, Jackie Earle Haley was awesome as Rorschach. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was fantastic as the comedian. I think he really, I think everyone delivered their A game for this movie, and this is just my opinion, of course. But yeah. Some other things I really liked about the movie and stuff was the music, not just the choice of music that they used and stuff, because at the beginning it shows them using Bob Dylan's classic, "The Times They Are A-Changin'," which is the perfect song for Watchmen. But the actual musical scores that they used throughout the movie and stuff were pretty fucking great. The look of the movie was it wasn't necessarily clean. It was dark and gritty where it needed to be, you know, with like Rorschach and the comedian and stuff. Whereas with Dan Dreiberg, it seemed normal, almost a little bit uplifting and stuff. With Ozymandias, like the scenery, the scope of it was just so beautiful. And you know, each background accentuated the character, just like it did in the comics and stuff. I mean, just like it did in the 12 issues and stuff, which then became the collected graphic novel form and whatnot. I'd have to say, out of all the movies that have been done from Alan Moore's material, Watchmen is the best. It's not flawless, I will say that. It is not flawless. There are certain things that were changed that, okay, some of them I was cool with it. You know, some of them I was like, okay, yeah, you're changing it, but maybe it'll make sense within the movie realm, because within the comic realm, you know, let's just flat out say it, the squid fits with the comic. I don't think the squid would have adapted well to the movie, but then again, you know, the squid isn't the ending. The squid is the means to the ending. But once again, if you haven't read the comic or you haven't seen the movie, ignore what I'm fucking saying. Anyways, the whole point of Watchmen is it's a meditation upon power. It's saying that, you know, you as a person, if superheroes were real, you as a person should not entrust your life into other people, because they are just as, if not more, dysfunctional than you. I mean, look, the best two examples, of course, are Rorschach and the comedian. But also another example is Dr. Manhattan, and the fact that he feels so removed from society, he feels so removed from mankind in general, because he is so powerful that he controls all matter. You know, I'm really thinking about that. He is the most powerful being ever. You know, more powerful than Superman, more powerful than fucking anybody. And he's also a very interesting character. And one thing that they did in the movie that I thought was really cool is that they showed that Dr. Manhattan isn't a solid form. You know, you can like sort of see through him, see the little particles floating around in him and stuff. And I just thought that was such a cool effect, you know, something that I didn't, as a fan, I didn't really think about, you know, because in the book, you know, even though Dr. Manhattan can change size, he can do all these different things and stuff, change the physical properties of things, it just never dawned on me that, you know, yeah, he wouldn't be a solid form. So I gotta give major props to Zack Snyder for showing me that, as me being an audience member and stuff. But also another thing that is interesting about Dr. Manhattan is, like I said, he's so removed from society, so removed from mankind and whatnot, and he even says he can change the physical properties of things, but he cannot control human nature. He cannot change that. That's the one thing he can't do, and it's blatantly said in the comic too, that that's how he is. So, you know, you have the two characters, Rorschach and Comedian, who, you know, see humanity as being just dark and fucking evil and shit. You see Dr. Manhattan as just being completely removed from it, you know, almost being disgusted by regular people because he doesn't understand them. And you have Ozymandias, who wants to save mankind, but needless to say, he has some very interesting methods of doing it. Another thing I was glad that they put in the movie, obviously, was Ozymandias' like lynx or whatever the fuck, like a crossbreded lion, tiger, bobcat animal by the name of Babastis. I could never pronounce it. I could never fucking do it. But yeah. Also, another thing, Matthew Good is great as Ozymandias. Adrian Veidt. I always used to pronounce it Viet, or yeah. So everyone pronouncing Veidt now is just kind of like throwing me off, but whatever. Still though, he brought his A game. Everybody brought their A game to this movie. At least I thought, you know. I'm pretty sure Alan Moore will think differently, because as everyone knows, Alan Moore has been very much outspoken about how much he fucking hates Hollywood adaptations of his material, because, let's be honest guys, it's not exactly a good track record. I mean, Alan Moore is like the greatest fucking comic writer ever. I know that that's an arguable fact, but it's my fucking opinion. Fuck you. Alan Moore is one of the greatest writers ever. And all the Hollywood adaptations of his material have been just flat out fucking terrible. You know, the only one that had the even somewhat close, that came even close, but was still kind of far off from the original concept, was V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta was actually a pretty good movie, but the comic is so much fucking better. You know, Watchmen is the best of them all, you know, but it's not as good as the comic. I mean, you know, I don't think it's fair necessarily to compare the two, because Watchmen the movie was great, but it wasn't flawless, you know. It was 2 hours and 43 minutes. It should have been flat out like 4 hours long, in my opinion. If not fucking longer, because I'll sit through that shit. But, yeah. Anyways, the comic is flawless. The movie was great. You know, the movie's the comic is the greatest in the comic genre. The movie, I think, like how big Watchmen is in the comic genre, I think the Watchmen movie is just as big within the movie genre. But if you compare the two, as for story-wise, the comic is better. Still though, go out, watch Watchmen, and really take it all in. Alright, but I will be back to have an even better review with the Nerd Roundtable, so check that out. Bye-bye.